If you're someone who's struggling to climb out of low elo or simply in search of a new champion to add to your repertoire, then this video is for you. We'll be covering 3 champions for every single role that are extremely powerful for the lower ranks and will help you climb the fastest for Season 13. But before we get into it, be sure to check out SkillCapped if you want to truly get better at League of Legends. We're the only service that offers a money-back guarantee if you don't climb at least 5 divisions while actively using our service. We do this because our service really does work, and if it doesn't work for you, you shouldn't pay. Learn more at the end of this video or click the link in the description below. Yorick has always been a very impactful champion for low elo, and he's become even more powerful and fun to play in Season 13. In the past, it was always Bruiser Yorick that reigned supreme, but this new lethality build has made him way more versatile. The whole idea behind Yorick is to be an absolute thorn in the side lane and constantly force the enemy team into tough decisions. 1v1 power with Maiden available is insanely strong, and the tower taking potential is some of the best for any top laner. By building Ravenous Hydra into Eclipse second and Cyrilda's Grudge third, your split power becomes exponentially better. Ravenous allows you to one-shot waves so you can start smacking down towers faster. Cyrilda's works amazing with Yorick's Mistwalkers as they will apply a perma-slow, giving you immaculate sticking power. The overall damage output from this build is not something most players will expect, as they are more used to playing against Bruiser Yorick, so you can cheese out so many free kills as a result. Make sure to run Comet as the keystone instead of Conqueror, as you are going for more of a bursty build here and won't be benefiting as much from the ramping power of Conqueror. Another top laner with excellent split push and scaling power is Nasus. Think of Nasus as the easier version of Yorick, as he takes very little if any mechanical skill to pull off. This is actually great though, and what you should be prioritizing to climb low elo the fastest, as not having to worry about crazy combos will help you focus more on your macro game that makes you a better player. Nasus thrives so much more for the lower ranks because his weaker early game goes unpunished way more often. If you can survive lane without dying and grab a ton of Q stacks, then you will be set up to solo carry extremely hard every single game. Does the enemy team have a fed ADC? Who cares? Nasus W slows attack speed by 71%, so you can make auto-reliant champions completely useless. Focus on that mini game of gaining as many Q stacks as possible, and you will see consistent results with Nasus. A standard 3-item core to run for Nasus is Divine Sunderer into Frozen Heart second and Thornmail or Spirit Visage third. Keystone Rune is Fleet Footwork followed by Resolve for secondaries with Second Wind and Unflinching. One champion who remains a staple when it comes down to escaping low elo from the top lane is Garen. What makes Garen so powerful is that he's nearly impossible to mess up on when you gain an advantage. Garen is allowed to build relatively tanky, but can still burst targets extremely easy with his full combo. Q, E, and R are all point-and-click spells, so as long as you are in range of the enemy, there is no way for them to dodge your damage. Let's not forget the tankiness that Garen's W provides allows him to play around a very easy trading pattern in lane. Is W available? Garen probably wins that trade. Is W down? Hold off on playing aggressive until it comes back up. Core build for Garen is a Stridebreaker Rush into Mortal Reminder second and Deadman's Plate third. Pick up Conqueror as the keystone along with Conditioning and Overgrowth for secondaries. One of the best champions you can play for any elo bracket and an exceptionally strong low elo jungler is Maokai. Strong engage power, great zone control, point and click crowd control. There are so many aspects of Maokai's kit that make him such a reliable low elo pick. Struggling to execute ganks consistently? Maokai has a near foolproof free kill tool whenever his flash is available. Flash W into Q knockback is guaranteed to at the very least burn the enemy's flash every time. Players love to meander out on their own in low elo, straying away from their team, and Maokai's saplings can punish that insanely hard. If you can set up saplings in the entrance brush around objectives, that can single-handedly win you the objective without even having to engage at all. Mao is just a very low-risk, high-reward champion right now, and someone that should be in every jungler's champion pool if they want easy elo. Core build is a Demonic Embrace Rush into Liandry second and Shadow Flame third. Roll with Phase Rush or First Strike as the keystone. Phase Rush offers more raw teamfight power, while First Strike is very powerful when it comes down to poking the enemy with saplings. One amazing low elo jungler that doesn't get nearly as much attention as he should is Rammus. Sporting only a 3% play rate in silver elo, Rammus should be picked way more for how powerful he is. Rammus is way stronger for the lower ranks than high elo for 2 core reasons. Number 1 is that he's just super simple to play, so he's a great champ to help you focus on your macro play instead of micro. Number 2 is that there are way more auto-reliant AD junglers played in low elo. Master Yi is consistently one of the most played junglers in low elo along with Kayn and Lee Sin. Being able to rush to Thornmail and completely shut down those champions is such a luxury for Rammus. After completing Thornmail, go into Joksho second and Sunfire or Force of Nature third. Rune Page consists of Aftershock with Font of Life, Conditioning, and Unflinching. Triumph and Alacrity are great for secondaries. A relatively new jungle pick, but someone that has been dominating low elo for the past few months now, is Mordekaiser. Mord is such an incredible low elo carry that we even made a dedicated guide for him, which can be found on our website. Mordekaiser, being a jungler that comes online super hard at level 6, has become even stronger for 13.3, where jungle XP has been buffed. When high percent ganks are available, obviously take them, but with Mord, your main focus should be on farming consistently to hit level 6 as quick as possible. If you get 6 before the enemy jungler, there is no chance they're beating you in a 1v1 with your ultimate available. Level 6 Mord with Ghost popped has some of the most easy to execute ganks for any jungler. Tired of your team messing up your gank plays by missing key spells? With Mord, you don't gotta worry about that, as you isolate one of the enemies in your ultimate and take them out all by yourself. The build to run on Mord is a Rylai's Rush into Jaksho second and Demonic Embrace third. Grab Conquer as the keystone with Resolve for secondaries, running Conditioning and Revitalize. By the time this video goes live, Annie hotfix nerfs have likely been issued, as her win rate has spiked to over 58% with her 13.3 buffs. Even if hotfix nerfs go through, Annie will be in a much stronger state than last patch and the #1 low elo mid laner. Buffs to E and R are amazing, but the buff to Annie's passive is absolutely incredible as well. Before, if you wanted to charge up your stun for an invade play, you'd have to level W first, which isn't the most practical for the start of laning phase. Now that Annie starts the game with her passive fully charged, you can take Q level 1 and have a point-and-click stun for invade plays. Buffs aside, Annie has always been the perfect mid laner to help you learn the key fundamentals of League. Her straightforward and linear kit is easy to grasp, but still very rewarding and impactful. Multi-man Tibber stuns are nothing to scoff at in regards to their ability to solo win you games. Standard build for Annie is Eluden's Rush into Shadowflame second and Rabadon's third. Run Electrocute as the Keystone Rune and grab Mana Flow with absolute focus for secondaries. A mid laner that is very underrated for the majority of ranks and who should be played way more in low elo is Swain. We've been seeing Rod users like Cassidy, Anivia, and Cassio dominating the mid lane meta, while Swain is another great Rod user flying under the radar. Swain is such an amazing kit for a strong low elo champion, as he can get extremely tanky but still outputs a considerable amount of damage. With most mid lane champs, one misstep and the game can be over, but with Swain, he actually wants the enemy team to engage on him as he excels in close range teamfights. Swain E is a phenomenal pick tool, but it can be more difficult to land against players who space correctly. In the lower ranks, players are way less proficient with their positioning, so landing those impactful E's happens way more often. The build for Swain is a Rod of Ages Rush into Rylai's second and Zanya's third. Run Conqueror for the Keystone and dip into Resolve for secondaries, taking Conditioning and Overgrowth. Our third low elo mid lane selection is going to be Malzahar. Perma wave clear post Lost Chapter Buy combined with a free kill tool whenever R is available makes Malz a very consistent champ for the lower ranks. You never see Malz as much in high elo due to his exploitable laning phase, but in low elo, players generally aren't good enough to punish him. One very simple but key thing to focus on with Malz is letting your team know of your ultimate cooldown and doing your best to play around it. Malz with R is 10 times more impactful than Malz without, so pinging your R cooldown and limiting the aggressive plays you make without it is key. Build for Malz consists of a Leandri's Rush into Rylai's second and Demonic Embrace third. For runes, grab Airy with Mana Flow, Transcendence, and Scorch. Secondaries include Magical Footwear and Futures Market. An ADC who has benefited a ton from the recent item changes and is finding amazing success in the lower ranks is Sivir. Sivir is one of the best Quick Blades users, and it's slotting in perfectly on her as a second purchase. More upfront damage from this build is so valuable for the lower elos, where players lack proficient kiting power. Quick Blades reduces the cooldown of Sivir W anyways, so you'll have near permanent uptime on W, which provides enough attack speed. Sivir has some of the best wave clear for any ADC, and in lower ranks where players can become easily impatient, this constant wave clear can lead to over-aggressive plays by the enemy, giving your team free kills. Utility from Sivir's ultimate is really nice as well, since it provides you with a consistent way to be impactful, regardless of how ahead or behind you are. Core build to run on Sivir is a Kraken Slayer Rush into Quick Blade second and Phantom Dancer third. Pick up Lethal Tempo for the Keystone with Presence of Mind, Bloodline, and Coup de Grace. Optimal secondaries are Magical Footwear and Biscuits. There were a couple of patches there where MF fell off a bit in power, but ADC item changes have been incredible for her, and she's back as the premier low elo carry. The new meta build for MF makes her even better for low elo, as it's a heavy AD stacking setup. What makes Miss Fortune so good for low elo is her ability to be effective without needing to space or kite super well, and this build helps with that even more. Kraken Rush into Infinity Edge second and Bloodthirster third is the core. Upfront damage is really high, so you can easily burst squishy targets. There have also been so many melee supports buff this patch, and MF loves playing with those champions who can lock the enemy down and allow her to get an easy ultimate off. Rune Page for Miss Fortune is press the attack with Presence of Mind, Bloodline, and Coup de Grace. Grab Free Boots and Biscuits for secondaries. This ADC is broken for every single elo bracket right now, so look to abuse Samira while you can. Samira has been absolutely thriving off the back of the ADC item changes, as Infinity Edge and Bloodthirster buffs have heavily impacted her. It's gotten even better in 13.3 now that many melee engage supports are buffed, and Yuumi is the worst support in the game. Pair Samira up with any support who has decent engage power and you instantly have amazing skirmish potential. All Samira needs is the enemy locked down for a few seconds, and she can then unleash her ultimate for insane AoE damage. Samira is a little more mechanically intensive than MF or Sivir, so if you're looking for instant results, she would be our third choice out of the three. However, if you can put a bit of time into Samira, she's very well worth it. The optimal core build is a Shield Bow Rush into Infinity Edge second and Bloodthirster third, run Conqueror as the keystone, and grab Domination for secondaries with Taste of Blood and Treasure Hunter. To climb the fastest from the support role in low elo, it's vital you prioritize a champion who's less reliant on their ADC, and Heimerdinger is one of them. Heimer has such a strong laning phase with the perma-pushing power from turrets. The problem with pushing for many supports is that they become very easy gank targets, but this is what sets Heimer apart. Not only can Heimer constantly force the enemy under tower, but he can turn 3v2 gank plays better than any support, especially at level 6. This allows you to play hyper aggro in lane, and even if the jungler does gank, you're likely to trade kills at the very least. With many supports, you're at the mercy of your team when it comes down to securing objectives, but with Heimer's turrets, he can easily melt Dragon or Baron. You can make proactive calls yourself as Heimer, and not have to rely on your team to deal damage, which feels really nice. The optimal core build is a Rylai's Rush into Liandry's second and Zhonya's third. Grab Comet for the keystone and roll with Taste of Blood and Treasure Hunter for secondaries. Our next low elo support pick has very similar strengths to Heimer, as Zyra is our second selection. Zyra is definitely a little more vulnerable than Heimer and doesn't have the ability to outplay as hard early game, but her level 6 all-in power and damage output is just as good. Zone control and AoE damage is amazing, which helps a ton in regards to relying very little on your ADC. Zyra with a couple items is a carry herself, so even if your ADC has no clue what they're doing, you can pick up the slack and easily win games without them. Brush control and finding poke with Q and E will give you great advantages with Zyra early lane. Especially when you reach level 6, look for opportunities to sneak into brush and set up pick plays when the enemy oversteps. Zyra's build consists of Liandry's Rush into Rylai's second and Demonic Embrace third. Rune Page is Comet with Mana Flow, Transcendence, and Scorch. Grab Taste of Blood and Relentless Hunter for secondaries. Our first two low elo supports picks thrive on being able to carry by themselves, but if you want more of a traditional supportive champion, there is nobody better than Sona. Sona may not have that same kind of early lane dominance as Heimer or Zyra, but her scaling power is top notch. In lower ranks, games tend to last quite a bit longer, and Sona's a champion that becomes exponentially stronger as games drag out. As a result, a slightly more expensive build we would highly recommend for the lower ranks on Sona consists of Rod of Ages into Archangels. Complete this 2-item core and Sona becomes an absolutely devastating carry. The massive mana pool allows you to perma-spam heals and speed boosts for some of the best extended skirmish power of any support. Rune Page is Airy as the keystone, and grab Resolve for secondaries with Conditioning and Revitalize. Alright guys, before we wrap this up, let's tell you a little more about SkillCapped. So, we offer a 5-division rank up guarantee, and think that's a pretty crazy thing to offer. It's like a gym membership guaranteeing you'll get ripped. Your local gym would go bust if they offered that, right? Not us. We've offered this for years because our service really does work. It works so well, in fact, that we're able to produce by far the largest catalog of premium league guides on the internet. We add over 20 videos a week, with over 1,600 guides curated into over 100 courses no one can compare. We've also sent challenger players into ELO Hell 714 times and counting, where they commentate how to carry live. They also respond to all questions asked. Sign up today for as little as $6.99 a month if you are serious about improving. So there you have it, guys, the best low elo champions for every role in Season 13. Thank you so much for watching, good luck with your ranked climbs, and we will catch you back soon.